All right, today we're going to be talking about SWOT analysis. This is going to be the first of 3 videos talking about SWOT. This one, we're just going to do a review of SWOT analysis. The other 2 are going to talk about how to perform them and what to do with the output. So, what is a SWOT analysis and why do you need one? Well, it's a simple tool to identify the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to your business. So a SWOT analysis is just a brainstorming session. You usually have a 2x2 grid, which you'll see in the attached PDFs, where you just brainstorm all of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you should do this with your team if possible. If you're a solopreneur, you can do this with somebody close to your business or do this by yourself and just have somebody review it. Ultimately, you're going to want to just make sure that you're not patting yourself on the back when you really shouldn't be, or you're missing something obvious. So during the brainstorming session with your team, or by yourself, whatever, there's no wrong answers. So it's really just list everything you can think of that's a strength in 10 to 15 minutes. Same thing with the other 3 categories. And when you're doing this with your team, it's probably about like an hour to 90-minute process to get everything done. Because once you're done listing everything, you're going to kind of prioritize and think of ways that you can improve upon those. But we're going to get to that a little bit later. While you're brainstorming, like I said, there's no wrong answers, but you also want to think like internally and externally. So a lot of times people think of, oh, we're not good at this, or this is something that we can do, but strengths, weaknesses, like all of those can be external as well. Threats, especially, and opportunities, those are the ones where you'll find a lot of external things that could affect your business or help your business. The value of the SWOT is it's an easy way to get to know your company. So you're going to get feedback and just a different perspective on your business, hopefully from your team. And again, making sure that it's a nice open area, open forum, so that they don't feel like they need to hide anything from you. So you'll get their perspective, and then you can kind of challenge them to think differently. So what would a customer think? What would a vendor think? What would, anybody who's somehow attached to your business, how would they think? And start thinking from those perspectives as well. And then finally, it'll give you direction and just a way to improve upon and make your business stronger. So a full SWOT analysis should be performed annually, if possible, every 2 years, if not. The first one that you're going to do is going to be timely. The subsequent SWOT analyses are going to be a little more of like a review and an update than like a full SWOT analysis. It's possible that they could be, but realistically, you're going to be kind of marking some things off and then moving things around. And you should do that every 3 to 6 months. So as your business changes, if you add people, if you add a new product, or you go into a new market or whatever, you should really look at your SWOT to make sure that everything's current. And as you're marking things off, so let's say you improved upon a weakness, you can mark that off, but guess what? You get to move another weakness onto that list, because your job is never done when it comes to improving your business. You'll want to just reprioritize as needed, like I said, and then just continue to review the results of the action plan, which we'll talk about a little bit later in another video. Like I said, you should do this with your entire team, but it's really up to you in terms of how many people are involved. If it's just management, if it's the entire team, that's really your preference. But the output of the SWOT should be shared with everybody. You should be transparent about what it is that you come up with, so that everybody can see it and everybody can contribute to making sure that your strengths are strong and improving upon weaknesses, etc. And solopreneurs, you can do this with somebody else, colleague, your spouse, whoever it is. But you just want to make sure ultimately that whatever the output is of your SWOT, you want to be able to defend it to anybody who might look at it. So if you think you're strong at something and you write that down, and somebody comes and challenges and you can't defend it, maybe it isn't a strength. So that's just kind of the analysis of the analysis after the fact. And then what to expect when you perform a SWOT analysis. So you'll probably list a lot of things that you already knew about. Like, you already knew that you're strong here, you're weak here. There's this opportunity that you've just haven't gotten around to taking advantage of, and that's fine. But hopefully you're going to uncover some things that you didn't know about. And that's why having more people is better, especially employees, because they're going to give you their perspective, and where you think that you might be strong in this, they'll hopefully push back and say, oh no, we're actually not that good at that, or here's something that we are really good at and you didn't even realize it. So it's good because you hopefully will uncover some things about your business that you didn't know. It might be hard at times, especially when you start talking about weaknesses or threats, because that's stuff that people don't want to talk about, but you need to talk about them. So just make sure that you're open and open to all conversation in those areas. Hopefully this will motivate you to improve your business. So it's going to give you some outputs, and they should be pretty good in terms of like being actionable plans. But hopefully it'll motivate you and your team to again fix whatever it is that might be fixed. And then finally, there are going to be some things that potentially could exist in more than one category, and that's fine. So for instance, if you have a key employee who is, one of the best, let's say, coders in the country or whatever, and that's a strength. But if they happen to quit, or they get offered a new job, or they, move to somewhere else and they can't do their job for you anymore, that's potentially a threat, because you no longer have that person and you're gonna have to fill that gap. So again, these could be exist in more than one category. So that's it on the overview of SWOT. And next we're gonna talk about the actual analysis and each area.